Hello and welcome to this Dragon NaturallySpeaking tutorial. My name is Emily Gibson and I'm the Adaptive Technologist at the Queen's University Library. I work in the Adaptive Technology Center, otherwise known as the ATC, which is located at Stauffer Library and is part of the Queen's University Library System. Queen's also has QSAS, which is Queen's Student Accessibility Services, on campus, and they help with accommodations and refer students to the ATC for technology and alternate format support. In my role, I meet with students who have disabilities and make recommendations for adaptive technology software and equipment and train them on how to use it. The ATC is a designated quiet space with 2 bookable study rooms and a lab area, where students registered with QSAS can use adaptive technology and work in a distraction-reduced space. This slide features images of a computer in the Adaptive Technology Center lab, the waiting area by the entrance of the ATC, which has brochures and accessibility resources available to students, as well as the sign on the door to the ATC. This is a video on how to use the speech-to-text software Dragon NaturallySpeaking with Omni, which is the collaborative features branded name for Primo VE by Ex Libris, and do some common tasks such as how to do a keyword search and how to place a request. I will also demonstrate how to use Dragon to write an assignment. This video stemmed from conversations in the Collaborative Futures Accessibility Working Group, of which I'm a member. This group includes members from OCUL, which is the Ontario Council of University Libraries, who work to proactively identify and remove barriers from user interfaces in Primo VE, known as Omni, to users. This video may be helpful for library staff who have disabilities themselves or want to gain an understanding of how to better support students who use this software, or anyone who is curious to learn more about adaptive technology in general. This video is also for library staff who have an interest in learning more about adaptive technology. This isn't meant to be a training video on all of the features of Dragon, and is meant to be more of an introduction to the software, but there will be links to in-depth training and support resources at the end. Dragon NaturallySpeaking is a speech-to-text software that can be used to dictate work, as well as to navigate the computer by using voice commands. On the Nuance website, there is a cheat sheet of the different voice commands that work with Dragon. I'm showing this cheat sheet on my screen. The first time a person is using Dragon, it will train itself to the user's voice and the way they speak by having them read a page of text. This helps Dragon to be very accurate when dictating, and it will become more accurate over time as it gets used to the user's voice. Dragon is often used by people who have learning disabilities that make it difficult to type, as well as physical disabilities that affect the use of the person's hands. English language learners, as well as those who type slowly, may find it more efficient to use Dragon. An example scenario where I recommended Dragon was to a graduate student with a wrist injury to their dominant hand who needed to dictate their final assignments. Another example might be to an undergraduate student with a concussion who is unable to look at their screen for long periods of time and finds it helpful to dictate their work. Dragon can also be a helpful tool for anyone to use, as it may fit with different learning and working preferences. At the Queen's University Library, Dragon is available to students, staff, and community members in the Adaptive Technology Center. There is also at least one study room or workstation that has Dragon NaturallySpeaking in the Education Library on the Queen's campus. We also have Dragon medical and legal vocabulary versions available at the Bracken Health Science and Law Libraries, respectively. From a brief review of other OCUL institutions, it appears that just over half of the 21 schools have Dragon available to students in some way. In most cases, Dragon is typically made available to students through computer stations in some sort of adaptive technology lab or in private bookable study rooms. In general, user licenses for Dragon NaturallySpeaking can be purchased through Nuance, which is the company that makes the software, as well as through other retailers that sell adaptive technology software. Please note that Dragon NaturallySpeaking is only compatible with Windows and does not work with Mac computers. There are also legal and medical versions, which contain specific vocabularies, as well as Dragon Anywhere, which can be used with iOS and Android. Today I am using Dragon Professional Individual version 16. I will give a few examples of how Dragon can be used with Omni to do some common tasks. In these scenarios, I will be using Dragon hands-free. The first thing I will use Dragon for in Omni is to search for a known title. I am on the Queen's University Library website and want to search for an ebook. To activate Dragon, I will say, "Wake up." The microphone switches on, and the Dragon toolbar is now green, which indicates that it's listening. In order to use the mouse, I will say mouse grid, which will open a grid on the screen, which breaks the screen into different sections that have different numbers. If I say the number that is associated with the area I want to click on, it brings the mouse to that location. I want to go to the Search Anything bar in Omni, so I'll say mouse grid 2, 4, 7, mouse click. Disappearing. Encounters in Disability Studies. Press Enter. Now that I've searched for the ebook I want, I will use the mouse grid again to click on the link. Mouse grid. 5, 1, 1, mouse click. Mouse grid. 5, 4, 7, mouse click. The next thing I will do is use Dragon to place an AFN request. Mouse grid. 2, 4, 7, mouse click. Pride and Prejudice. Press Enter. I want to scroll down, so I'm going to say move page down. Move page up. Mouse grid. 8, 1, 1, mouse click. Move page down. Page up. Page up. Mouse grid. 5, 4, mouse click. Page down. Mouse grid. 2, 4, 9, 2, mouse click. Mouse grid. 5, 5, 8, mouse click. The last thing I will demonstrate is how to write an assignment by dictating. The first time someone uses Dragon, it trains itself to the user's voice and the way they speak by having them read a page of text. This helps Dragon to be very accurate when dictating. I have Microsoft Word open, which I will use for the assignment. November 21st, 2023. Next line. Emily Gibson. Next line. Dragon cap demonstration. Center line. Next paragraph. Today, comma, I will be demonstrating how to use Dragon NaturallySpeaking with capital O, capital M, capital N, capital I, period. Dragon is a software that helps many students, exclamation point. Delete last word. Comma, staff and faculty, period. Select paragraph. Format that left aligned. Those were a few examples of tasks that Dragon users might go about in Omni. To summarize, we reviewed how to search Omni for a known title, placing an AFN request using the blank request form, and dictating a written assignment. Since there are many commands that can be used with Dragon, the Nuance website has a list of available commands that can be used in Dragon Professional Individual 16, which is the version I am using. There are many helpful resources on Dragon, including training videos, which I have linked here. Special thanks goes to Carlene Spinney at Queen's and Mark Weiler at Laurier, both members of the Collaborative Futures Accessibility Working Group, who helped make this video possible. Thank you to the other members of the Collaborative Futures Accessibility Working Group for their input and advice. Also, thank you to my colleagues at the ATC, Emma Bullerwell, Alyssa Lenny, and Michelle Chittenden, who helped me with filming and editing this video. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about Dragon NaturallySpeaking.